All right, so we're now still in class 5, and like it says here, and exercise 3. So class 5, exercise 3. We're going to be looking at syslog again, but getting syslog to behave a little bit more custom, getting it to create a separate file just for our applications, right? Right up to now, all the messages got dumped into varlog messages or varlog syslog in our case into just a generic file mixed together as we saw here on the right hand side. You notice that there's things that come from cron and PHP and dbus and system, and so it's really hard to tell the logs apart. And so we really would like to uh, be able to tell them apart. So the way to do that is through a thing called facilities and a configuration file. So there's a configuration file, and we can set up our own facility to receive the log information and redirect it somewhere else. So syslog will receive it based on the facility name and redirect it to a different file or to a different target if you wish. So here's the description of the various facilities, and we can define local our own local facilities, and that's what we're going to do in this file called rsyslog, the configuration file. So if we look here, sudo, I'm just going to do it in vi slash var slash etc. Ooh, sorry, I had to sneeze. Hopefully you did not hear that. Etc rsyslog.conf. Okay. So this is where, remember when I said that the default is var syslog? Here's the default. So everything star.star, so everything, all the error, everything that it catches goes into varlog syslog, not into varlog messages. And then there's specific facilities here that, for example, authentication, cron, kernel, mail, get their own special log files. All we're going to do is we're going to add our own facility here. So these are different rules. So a log message, when it comes in, it goes through these rules, and whichever is more applicable, that's where it gets sent to it. So if there's no facility specified for authentication, then it goes to here. If there's from any facility, if it's emergency, it goes to this output. So let's put ourselves in here a message called web app logs, and we're going to say local 0.star. So anything that comes from facility local 0.star, we want it to go into slash var slash log slash web app dot log. Okay, I think that's right. I think I need to have yeah, there 1, 2, 3. So there's a few of these tabs. I don't think the number of tabs matters, but let's just give it enough tabs. Okay. So save that file. Service rsyslog. Restart. Okay. So we restarted it. So now let's look at here and see. So yeah, notice even the messages of rsyslog come into the syslog file. So now let's create a new file called a syslog3 and run that file. Okay, and this one does the same thing. It gets a server and the agent, the server IP and the remote agent, or sorry, the client IP and the agent. It says we're not authorized. It opens up a log file this time with no delay, called web app, and with this particular facility. And so now we're going to write the warning to a different file. We're going to close the log. So here we open the log file. Here we close the log file. All right, let's run that into the browser and see. Let's see what happens in syslog while we're at it. So we're going to go to syslog3.php. Same thing. And look at that. It still appears in the messages. However, let's see if we got our own file created. Let's see. Aha, here's one called webapp.log. Let's look at that. Tail -f webapp.log. And sure enough, we have the messages saved in a separate file called webapp.log. So refresh this page, and sure enough, here's the message. Now, if I go back to syslog2, that will not appear in webapp.log. It will just appear in the original syslog, and where everything goes in. So there's other things that syslog takes care of, which is rotating logs, as you can see here. So the logs get rotated because the files get too large and get too unwieldy. It's able to also transmit them and send them somewhere else. And we can talk in class about services, like third-party services that will take logs and move logs around, such as Splunk or anyways, I'll think of a couple of other services that do this and make it easy to move logs and analyze logs. So that's it. That's exercise 3 for class 5, and there's only 3 exercises for this class, so it should be a lot easier.